All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Goddey, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. Um, and then we have 4 or 5 amazing speakers today with us who are going to be taking us through different presentations based on their work, and then some very interesting initiatives in the blue economy space that are emerging, and we need to be very much aware of. Today we have Dr. Alhassan from the University of Cape Coast. He's a blue economy expert and have got the chance to also support Ghana's blue economy strategy development. We have Defne, who is with the World Economic Forum, the ocean team. Then we have Jonathan and Sigi, both of them are with the All Atlantic Ocean Research and Innovations team, so simply called the AREA team. So they would also be giving us very interesting presentations on some of the amazing initiatives that they are working on and they are aware of that, especially for the youth, we can benefit from. So this is going to be very exciting, and I'm very much excited to learn from to become aware of all these initiatives, emerging initiatives, and how I can benefit from them. I know you are also very much excited. Uh, and then I also have here with me from the ECOP program training and mentoring team, Amber. So yeah, me and Amber has been working for a while. So thank you for joining, Amber. Also, maybe we wait for like 2 minutes and then we start. There's a hand up. I don't know if that's a mistake or the person actually wants to speak. But okay, it might be a mistake actually. All right. So yes, we start in the next 2 minutes. Thanks. All right. Yeah, we can start. I mean, per Ghana and maybe some of the African countries' time, the GMT, they are still closing from work and all of that. So probably more people will join later. But yeah, we can actually start. Usually this is a joint one with the ECOP program. Luckily, I'm also part of the ECOP program, the global team, so the training and the mentoring team. And this is the episode 34. So this has been running for over 3 years now. Yeah, and I've got the opportunity to partake, lead, moderate, or be the technical person for quite a number of the episodes, the webinars, focused on different aspects of the ocean or blue economy, including plastic pollution, ocean observation and monitoring, and the likes. And they have been very exciting uh, ones in the past. I urge you to, if you are still interested, go to the ECOP webinar, the ECOP program page, and then there is the webinar, the past webinar session. So we have them recorded and you can watch them on YouTube, the past webinars, any topic of interest. There have been so many interesting, so 33 different topics, talking about opportunities, talking about the issues that are happening within the ocean economy. So feel free to always check it out. And then also feel free to follow the ECOP program and become aware of the opportunities and the different webinars that will be coming up. What we'll be doing here is just more of an introduction into some of these organizations and what they are doing. Later, we'll have webinars that we can invite them more on, individual one person webinar or one organization webinars that they can talk more about the work, the initiatives, and some progress that they have made since this time. So just follow and keep updated. And so that is a little introduction about the ECOP program. Again, my name is Goddey. I am a co-founder and then the CEO of Blue Economy Connect. And then I am also part of the ECOP program training and mentoring team. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Introduce yourself, where you're from, what you are doing, and if you have a profile to share, feel free to share. We'll be very happy to connect with you. Thank you very much. In starting, we would like to just launch a poll to quickly, briefly just see where you are joining us from and what you do. So Amber, if you are ready, maybe you can launch the first poll and then please engage the polls. Thank you. Do you see the polls?
I see it's already like launched on my screen. Does anyone else see it? Or is it just on mine?
Oh, it's already launched on your screen. I don't see it though. Maybe, okay, yeah, it's already launched. Actually, there has been a number of votes. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, so please engage the polls and vote. We've had, there are quite a number of people already voting, so great. We've had 23 votes already. Vote. So the first one, are you an ECOP? So usually ECOP is someone who identifies as being in the first 10 years of their career related to the ocean. Interestingly, 11 people here are not ECOPs. That is nice, interesting to see that. The region, which region are you joining us from? Africa, Europe, South America, Asia. Oh, okay. We have people from Asia, South America, Europe, and Africa. That is very diverse and amazing to see. We have people from academia, industry, government, NGO, and others. Amazing to see the diversity. We have a number of people not being familiar with the blue economy at all. That's what I'm also very interested in seeing. And most people are somewhat familiar with it, right? So we actually also have a lot of people. We are very diverse, set of sector here. A lot of people from the fisheries and aquaculture. Then we have also a lot of people from the maritime transport and ports. Great. Renewable energy, we have a number of people. Conservation and biodiversity, we have people. Blue carbon and climate mitigation, we have people there. And then mining and extraction, we have people there. I wish there's a way to know these people personally because areas like mining and extraction, renewable energy, I'm really looking forward to meet people there. So maybe feel free to connect with me. I'll be very happy to engage you guys. All right, so people are still voting. Kindly check the polls and vote. So Ruth from Nigeria, nice to meet you. Margaret from South Africa, amazing. There's a fish farmer from Zambia, Catherine, amazing. Ben from Ghana, nice to meet you. Senyo from Ghana, yeah, amazing. Sama from India, great, great, great. I mean, very good and amazing diversity here. Right, Rahel from Ghana, nice to meet you. Really great to see. Feel free to share your LinkedIn profiles or any your organization's profiles. Let's engage. So, yeah. Maritime people here from every part of the world. So that is amazing to see. I mean, still, I think some people are still voting, but due to time, we can end the polls and see. Yeah. So there is actually also Charlene Jacobs from Aruba, so all the way the Caribbean. Great, 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 great. All right. Yeah, so great to know that most people here, about 58% are ECOPs, and then a large number, 42%. I was expecting lower than that, but amazing to see that there are a lot of people who are not ECOPs, but they are here to learn more or to know about what is happening in the blue economy space. And then it's also great to know that there are people from North America, South America, and Asia joining, and a lot of people from different sectors of the blue economy joining. In fact, there's someone from almost from every sector. So great. Quickly, then we can start now. So I'll just for Blue Economy Connect, I've spoken about the ECOP program already. So Early Career Ocean Professionals program. There are different aspects of the ECOP program. There's ocean literacy, there's the communications, there's training and mentoring. So for the training and mentoring team, we do the webinars. And as you can see from episode, the episode being episode 34. So every month we try to do, this has been running for over 2 years, right? So every month we try to do a webinar, at least a webinar, and then we bring experts from the, it just depends, plastic pollution, ocean observation, different sectors. We bring these people to speak on issues. You are also feel free to reach out to us if you have any interesting initiatives or topics that you would want us to host a webinar on. We can actually also engage and make that happen. With the Blue Economy Connect, we are actually the ones who are steering or leading this webinar. And for Blue Economy Connect, if you follow us, we are a youth-led organization that is championing youth leadership, engagement, and innovations in the blue economy space, especially in Africa. So far, our work has involved a lot of engagement with young people, because first we want to create the awareness. We want to bring all the youth and the young people on board. We want to make our presence known. After we bring these young people and we realize that a lot of the youth innovators and leaders in the space, and we bring them on board now, what do? We try to build capacity to meet our own needs, and then also to meet the evolving needs and demands of the sector. Part of building capacity is to host webinars to understand the sector better, to understand the problems, the initiatives that are happening, and then also we can then from there collaborate or co-create solutions, sustainable solutions to the problems of the sector. So you feel free to also follow us, Blue Economy Connect, as you follow the ECOP program, to also see the initiatives or engage us, collaborate with us on any initiatives. We'll be very happy to work together, for the better of us and then the ocean. Thank you very much. At this point, I would give the opportunity to the first speaker, Dr. Alhassan from the University of Cape Coast. He can introduce himself actually. So welcome, Dr. Alhassan. Feel free to start.
Okay. Thank you so much, Goddey. My name is Dr. Alhassan Karakara from the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. I am affiliated with the Department of Applied Economics, that is within the School of Economics. And within our department, we have a program in Masters and PhD on the blue economy, governance, and social resilience. And we partnered that with the Center for Coastal Management in the university. We secured a World Bank funding for our student for successive 3 years, and we are in the 4th year of the program. So I've been in the blue economy space as one of the experts in the area when we're developing the program document, and I've represented the department in a lot of engagement in the blue economy space. I also had the opportunity to be part of the Ghana Blue Economy Strategy engagement with the Blue Economy Strategy Committee when it was set up to come out with the first blue economy strategy of the Republic of Ghana. I've engaged with them, and I was invited to come and talk on the strategy itself. It is yet to be finalized, though the committee have done their work and submitted to the President of the Republic, and engagement are still ongoing for the full rollout of the strategy for Ghana to benefit. So I will start my presentation by, let me share my slides. I hope you can see the slides.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so in this webinar, which I was invited to speak for 15 minutes, and I'll try to make my contribution brief and speak within the 15 minutes, because I believe that if if you want a brief and concise presentation, it should be too long to capture the essential things. And again, presentation should be too short, like a skirt of a woman, to attract attention. So I'll try to be brief in this aspect. So the theme of the presentation is demystifying the blue economy. And within the theme, I was asked to look at the Ghana's blue economy strategy. What are the thematic areas of the strategy, and what opportunities are there for the youth, for women, and for everyone within the blue economy space and the country as a whole. As I said, my name is Dr. Alhassan Karakara with the Department of Applied Economics. I'm also with the Resource Governance Unit of the Center for Economic and Political Governance in Africa, CEPGA, which is also championing resource governance across African countries. So I am going to look at the blue economy in a space of looking at unlocking the sustainable ocean wealth for a resilient future. And most of my examples will dwell on Ghana, specifically on the draft strategy that is ongoing, yet to be rolled out by the president. However, in setting the scene, what do we mean about the blue economy? It is a color economy in a way. Blue economy, we have other color economies. We have green economy, we have red economy, we have green-blue economy or blue-green economy. But specifically, blue economy is talking about the sustainable use of ocean, the sea, and coastal resources. That is how to sustainably exploit and use them to ensure that we gain economic growth, we improve the livelihood of the people who engage in the blue economy space, that is in the ocean resources, exploitation and usage, and to create jobs. Then again, to preserve the ecosystem health of the ocean, because we are in a situation whereby countries have now moved from the brown economy to the blue economy. And blue economy, it isn't just about fishing, as many people misconstrue. It is not just about fishing. It is about how to sustainably use all our marine and freshwater resources. That is from the sea, the ocean, inland waters or rivers, for the triple achievement of economic, social, and environmental benefits. That is to say, exploiting those resources sustainably to help achieve economic growth, to also help us achieve social progress. And at the same time, we safeguard the environment for future generations. So blue economy is broadly how we are able to achieve economic growth, how we are able to achieve social progress, and the environment. So the economic, social, environmental aspect of sustainable development is what the blue economy preaches. So why should we care about the blue economy? One, it is because of dwindling land resources. Over the years, economies in an effort to grow will destroy the environment. Over the years, we were concentrating on land resources, exploiting the nature on land, not in the sea. That is to talk about the timber, the gold, and whatever that, all resources that you can find on the land. But recently, those resources are being depleted. And as they are being depleted, we create a lot of brown economy. That is to say, you pollute to develop. And because that resources are being dwindling, focus is now being shifted to marine resources, which the marine or the ocean carries a huge resources for us. So if focus is now shifted to the marine aspect to exploit the resources, we should be mindful of how to sustainably exploit them so that we will not get into what the brown economy took us to. Secondly, the human usage and extraction of the ocean resources have been noted to cause sustainability issues. First, there are a lot of land-based pollutants that move into the ocean to pollute the ocean, and human beings in particular exploit ocean resources indiscriminately because it has the feature of no one owns the resources. So you see that people could go in to exploit as much as they can, then no one controls it. So we should be concerned about how to sustainably manage the ocean resources. If we are not concerned, then the future might look bleak for people that are coming. Third, if we are able to sustainably manage the ocean resources, it could help us to achieve majority of the Sustainable Development Goals. If you look at the UN Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 14 is specifically talking about life below the ocean or life below water. And that is to say, though that goal, Goal 14, does not specifically talk about blue economy, but its targets and whatever the goal seeks to achieve is about sustainability of the ocean. Then again, the blue economy as it is, the interest in the blue economy have risen lately. From the year 2010 till now, there have been series of blue economy conferences, blue economy engagement. In 2018, there was this Sustainable Blue Economy Conference in Kenya. And before 2018, in 2012, the Rio Plus Conference also spoke about sustainability of the ocean. Then specifically in 2017, the UN convened a conference again to specifically look at how to implement Goal 14, which talks about sustainability of the ocean. Then when you look at the India Ocean, the Jakarta Concord, where India and countries around the Indian Ocean came together to sign a bond on how to sustainably exploit ocean resources. Then so many other conferences that have gone on, including the webinar we are having. So there is a need for us to actually look at the ocean resources in the aspect of economic, social, and environmental aspect of sustainable development to preserve resources for future use. So I will narrow down to the blue economy strategy of Ghana. If we look at Ghana, Ghana has a diverse aquatic assets. The country, from its marine resources, it has the traditional sectors such as the marine fisheries, the aquaculture, shipping, offshore oil and gas. There's also tourism within the coast, marine tourism within the coast of Ghana. Then there are also emerging opportunities within the aquatic assets of Ghana. The issues of mariculture, that is the cultivation of aquatic plants, seaweed, sea cucumber, or whatever. Then energy exploration and the deep sea mining. Then when you look at it, aside the marine aquatic assets of Ghana, we also have inland water resources. And in the inland water resources, Ghana has one of the world's largest man-made lake, that is the Lake Volta. And this Volta has a lot of rivers and reservoirs that connect to it. So you could see inland fisheries and aquaculture within the Volta Lake. You could also witness some kind of inland transport, water transport system where both cargo and passengers are carried on the water. There are some aspects along the inland waters where you could find irrigational farming. Then we also have the hydropower from Akosombo. Aside the tourism, issues. Then, as part of the Ghana aquatic assets, we also have some number of wetlands and floodplains within the country that boost economic activities within Ghana. So the coastline of Ghana spans around 550 kilometers coastline, and the country also have an expansive exclusive economic zone. The United Nations with the UNCLOS, that is the UN Convention on Law of the Sea, which established the exclusive economic zone. For each country, it was 200,000 nautical miles, but Ghana was able to secure a permission from the UN to extend it over the 200,000 nautical miles. So Ghana has a huge coastline, which is good for economic growth and development, as well as sustainability. So these diverse aquatic assets are critical foundations for the national development of Ghana. And Ghana should be circumspect in trying to put out their blue economy strategy, because it is something that could help them to expand beyond the frontiers of growth. So when you look at the Ghana Blue Economy Strategy, which is still undergoing, the President of the Republic of Ghana put together a committee from academia, civil society organization, including religious leaders, and as well as people in the practice space, in government organizations and NGOs. So this committee had a 10-day intensive technical drafting of the proposal. We started somewhere in 21st July to 4th August this year. And their task was to develop the first integrated blue economy strategy for the country. As part of that, the vision in it was to achieve a prosperous, inclusive, self-reliant, and resilient Ghana, which will be driven by a sustainable and competitive blue economy. So as part of the engagement there, the chair of the committee, who is a woman, Professor Georgina, that is here with me in the photo in one of the consultative meetings we had in Accra. So within the Ghana's blue economy strategy, there are thematic areas, and I want to take us through these thematic areas, which we might not be able to exhaust what each of them stands for, but I try to fish out the opportunities that are there for the youth and perhaps any other person who is interested in the blue economy space. So the document forms part of the strategic framework to develop Ghana's marine, coastal, inland water, and wetland assets. So the document does not skew to only the marine resources. In fact, it spoke about the marine, coastal, as well as inland waters and wetland assets. So it seeks to actually transform the country's marine and inland aquatic systems to make it more dynamic and to make it economic opportunity driven, to ensure that we also achieve environmental protection as well as a national resilience. Should climate change become a topical, climate change, which is a topical issue, should it become a concern, how will the nation be able to deal with such climate change issues? So the document says to also put the nation at the pedestal of national resilience. So the document had 6 key thematic areas. And that is to say, we have the blue wealth, we have the blue health, the blue knowledge, the blue finance, the blue equity, and the blue, safety and security. The blue wealth is activities or programs or coming out with initiatives that could help us to enhance sustainable economic value from the marine and inland waters. That is to ensure that we create the wealth out of the marine resources. Then the blue health is trying to ensure that we achieve a good ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, and biodiversity by trying to restore damages that had already been done to the ecosystem, as well as preventing future biodiversity adversity issues. Then the blue knowledge comes in to promote research, innovation, and education to ensure that we put innovation at the forefront of the blue economy, because to progress, research should inform policy. Then the blue finance is about mobilizing sustainable and equitable financial investment to ensure that we are able to cater for issues arising from the blue wealth, arising from the blue health, as well as the blue knowledge, where we can fund research. Then the blue equity is trying to ensure that there is fairness in benefit sharing and social justice within the blue space. Many a times, human engagement with the ocean is majorly fishing, where you can see even the poor, the downtrodden who engage in fishing, and that is their major source of livelihood. So if there's no anything within the document to ensure that there's equity for these guys, you could then see that the blue economy strategy could end up creating an inequality in the system. And this might have a lot of tendencies within the economy. Then the safety and security is talking about how the country could strengthen its surveillance issues regarding law enforcement in the marine and inland waters. So within the blue wealth, which focus on economic value creation through sustainable development of other 5 strategic areas, that is fisheries and aquaculture, energy systems, tourism, transport, that is marine transport, as well as emerging industries within the blue space. So for that one, it seeks to transform aquatic resources into engines of prosperity, resilience, and green growth. So if you pick the fisheries and aquaculture, some of the opportunities that the youth could tap into is the issue of value addition and processing. The draft document made mention that the countries would have to dwell on value addition and processing. That is to invest in fish processing, packaging, and branding. And that this could help us to unlock unemployment issues, then to create jobs and increase export earnings. So if you are a youth and you want to engage in this, you could come out with your blue enterprise idea to see how you can help in processing and packaging aquatic resources. As part of it, the document tried to look at how the countries could harness high value market, where we now have certified aquatic or aquaculture products that can help us engage in export. And the African Continental Free Trade Area is an opportunity for the country to harness on. The document, as part of the fisheries and aquaculture, said the government will try to develop mariculture within the coastal waters of Ghana. And youths that can enter into mariculture would be a huge opportunity. There is virtually no mariculture being practiced on the coast of Ghana as compared to the inland waters where we have a vibrant aquaculture system running. The document will also promote inland aquaculture. It's already in practice.
Hello, Dr. Hassan.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I mean, because of time, you've
Yes.
exhausted
15
minutes, but of course, I'll give you maybe a few minutes to wrap up or maybe talk about how, we can actually engage, with, I mean, if there are any opportunities there for us, maybe specifically how we can engage would be very important for us to know. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so with the Blue Wealth, as I said, you can engage in developing a mariculture idea. And as part of it, it also spoke about renewable energy system. So if you have ideas as to how to kickstart your renewable energy enterprise within the marine space or within the blue economy space, there is opportunities in that sector, and the country, as part of the blue finance, will set aside finance to help these entrepreneurial ideas. In the tourism, there's similarity issues there, where the document made mention of establishing or developing ecology, resort, and coastal marine tourism, including aqua sports. So opportunities in the Blue Wealth are wide, including transport system, where they could have establishment of dry ports and logistic hubs, which will be near border towns. Then I cite the Blue Wealth. The Blue Health also talks about climate change issues. So youth that are into climate change issues could also find an opportunity within that Blue Health space. And that is to the issue of establishing marine protected areas and inland protected areas. Then in pollution reduction, there's also a waste control programs that will come up. So youth that can put together ideas on how to manage pollution within the blue economy space will be a welcome thing. And because of time, let me just add certain things to the pollution aspect. There's a project that one of my colleagues did within the coast of Ghana, specifically in Elmina, where there's a lot of fishing activities ongoing. And they try to turn the waste into biocompost as a fuel for the same fishermen or fisherfolk to use in smoking the fish, which looks a clean energy than the solid energy they use to smoke the fish. So it's a project that one can harness on. Then in the blue knowledge, which seeks to promote traditional knowledge system, you could engage in issues of educating people about the blue economy space, then ensuring you gather data to share on the blue economy space. One last thing I want to touch on is what we can actually do as a youth to take advantage of the blue economy space in Ghana. Because of time, I might not be able to go through all the thematic areas. So what can you do to get involved? One, for students or university or young professionals, you could explore roles in logistics or environmental science, the blue economy, as well as shipping companies and policies. In your studies, you could do internships or you could study your thesis or whatever could concentrate on that. You could also come out with proposal that you can source for finance, proposals that are bankable, proposals that would lead to funding. With the issue of recycling, as pollution is one of the greatest problems, For the issue of sustainable tourism, you could develop startup proposal to get resources from the blue finance that the document spoke about. Then youth-led organizations, you could engage in campaigns that align with the blue health and the blue knowledge pillars. And there will be funding from the blue finance to help such campaigns. You could also collaborate with corporate bodies and government organizations to pilot your project if you have one in mind. Then for government NGOs, you could also partner and engage in ongoing dialogue like the one we are having here. Then you could mobilize resources for the initiative. So one thing I'll say is start to brainstorm on your blue enterprise today. What do you think you can do, given that the Ghana Blue Economy Strategy document is coming out? You could visit the Ministry of Fisheries website for more information. The Ghana Blue Economy website is not yet in because they are still thinking about whether establishing a Ghana Blue Economy Commission or a Ghana Blue Economy Secretariat, which will be under the office of the president. But at the stakeholder engagement, we concluded on establishing a commission, which will be an independent body from the office of the president. Thank you so much for the engagement. Hello,
Yeah.
Goddey.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alhassan. That was a very amazing. In fact, it's more detailed than I was thinking, but really amazing that we get to understand more about Ghana's blue economy and also generally the blue economy. Whilst you were explaining all the thematic areas and things, we got a better understanding of even the various, thematic areas and sectors of the blue economy. I don't know about others, but I can really see the myriad of opportunities that are there. A lot, especially for the global south and Africa. Whatever issues Ghana is facing, Nigeria is facing similar issues. Tanzania, we are facing, with the coastal areas are facing the same issues. Ghana currently, like you mentioned, we don't have, we do not have a mariculture. Nothing is done. Like it's a whole new big sector that other countries are exploiting, and we haven't even touched on it yet. There is so much pollution going on. So, with the blue wealth, the blue health, you can, transforming the waste, repurposing the waste. These are opportunities that are there, right? Repurposing the waste is there. You can look into literacy, because UNEP and some of the institutions have done research, and it is shown that less than 20% of the people living in the coastal areas have ocean literacy or are educated about the ocean. So you can imagine that, less than 20% of the people who are using the resource who are probably causing the harm, like they are not very much abreast with the importance of the ocean and preserving it. This presents us an opportunity as youth, to take up these opportunities, go out there, educate people, get engaged with them, develop solutions. At least this also gives me hope that Ghana is working on supporting initiatives that would transform the sector. So we are very happy and we are ready as youth. I don't know for you again, but for Blue Economy Connect, we ourselves and all the youth there, we are designing programs to meet some of these needs and, to bring some solutions and innovations. With that being said, there are some questions from Dr. Alhassan. We'll try to answer them later, but at the stakeholder engagement, Blue Economic Commission, I was like, okay, I think these are questions that you asked and answered them yourself anyway. So thank you very much again. We would move on to Defne from the World Economic Forum. So now that we have learned about the blue economy, what it is, the thematic areas, Ghana currently, where we are. And perhaps you can say the same for most of the African countries or the countries in the global south. We are almost at the same place, with regards to the blue economy. We are now developing, the sector. So good to learn and know about these things. And we'll move on to Defne, who is herself an early career professional, and she will tell us a bit about herself and some of the amazing opportunities at the World Economic Forum. Thank you, Defne, and please take over.
Thank you so much. Good day, and really happy to be speaking with you all today. And thank you so much, Professor Dr. Alhassan, for your presentation that unpacked all of the concepts I was about to throw in, aware that it can be quite wordy and also difficult to not talk in environmental sustainability jargon as we go through these. So it's really nice to have the description and framing of all of this going into my presentation. So I'm going to share my screen. As preluded, I'm here today to talk to you about what work we are doing at the World Economic Forum's Ocean team, as well as my kind of experience and involvement as an early career, now ocean professional, coming a bit more from the broader climate adaptation space. And we're going to do the latter first so that we can dive into the different things that are going on our work side. Because basically, this is not the World Economic Forum, unfortunately, does not have, the ocean is not that high in the agenda yet, so we don't have a whole ocean early career program. But I got involved through the general early career program that they lance out every 6 months. So I'll talk a bit about how I ended up there and how it took place that I am working on the work that I'm about to present now. So I am from Turkey. This picture is also Turkey. It's a very off the coast area. Not a lot of urbanization, not a lot of economy going on, hence it looks beautiful. And cannot skip. This is right where I'm from. When I used to live here, I used to walk here every day. And so I, as a young, this generation professional, ended up in the space very much with the kind of anxiety and urgency towards how we have ended up working with nature and our environment in this way, and how we are falling short of recognizing how short of a time frame we have in addressing and rethinking that. So I ended up studying political science, environmental sociology, and a bit of economics. Ended up taking an oceanography course in the mix, which then helped my development as an early career ocean professional later, that I did not anticipate. But basically, I am very passionate still about and figuring out in terms of career goals where that goes, how we can kind of reimagine the way our societies take place in a way that can deliver these outcomes we are talking about, also associated with the sustainable blue economy, that do not deplete and pressurize constantly, but then can regenerate and more equitably kind of distribute benefits rather than harms. I moved to Geneva to do my master's in the University of Geneva, where I got to explore the kind of professional landscape of environment and development a bit more at depth. Because, for example, I thought every report produced by an IO was just produced by an IO. I met the worlds of consultants and all of the different technical experts and on the field data people who are contributing to this big picture messaging and narrative that we are trying to push and that we're trying to get to engage at the global agenda, also at the WEF. So that was, I think, a great experience for me to be able to kind of also understand what type of different opportunities there may be to engage, like what angle to really take to, because the challenges and the problems we're talking about are quite big and vast. So I ended up working at one of those consultancies, from where I applied to the World Economic Forum's early career program. After working in academic research and nonprofits. It's kind of the biting the bullet on engaging those different systems that shape our worlds. FYI, for those who are interested at more depth, this program opens every 6 months, and the hiring is kind of based on the different needs of the departments at the time and budgets. So not every year there's an early career professional being hired at the ocean team, but broadly at the Center of Nature and Climate, we are working on a lot of interconnected issues. As we'll talk about later, for example, we work very closely with our food and water team on our Bluefin innovation work in Ghana. So it's definitely an entry point into environmental, marine, freshwater, connected agendas, if you are interested. And I'm happy to kind of answer questions about this as it goes if someone from the audience considers going forward. So my initial role was to primarily support the team's effort in delivering our role back in June as the umbrella organization for private sector engagement for UNOC 3 and the steering committee for BEF through engaging partners and sending out communications. So that was a very fast entry into the world of the blue economy, the ocean economy for me, getting to know all the different sectors that are involved, all of the different entry points and the targeting kind of thinking that we are using in approaching different types of stakeholders and trying to get them to collaborate and trying to get them to join the conversation. And currently I'm working as the partner engagement specialist of this initiative, which my role is kind of entailing supporting with strategy and communications at the program level. And that entails doing a lot of research on the different companies that the forum is partnering with, or that we're partnering with at the Ocean Agenda, or that we're targeting, trying to understand how they are exposed or involved in the ocean, what type of collaborations they're currently involved in, and to sort of craft a useful and beneficial conversation between these business stakeholders with the different actors that they need to move the sort of needle forward from government, from finance, and from communities, namely through a lot of conservation organizations that we work together with. So on that note, I won't repeat too much what's been contributed already in this sense. I feel like we all know we direly need the ocean. But basically at the Center of Nature and Climate at the Ocean Team at the WEF, we're really trying to bridge the conservation conversation to the different sort of global agendas of trade, of energy, of telecommunications or food security. Food security is one that is a bit more obvious, but that do not necessarily connect so much in the minds of the mainstream conversation to the nature and climate agenda, to evoke kind of greater clarity and understanding of the importance and the relevance of ocean health for these different actors. So we talk about how much value nature is providing to the world. A recent report that our nature finance team produced lists out that $44 trillion of global GDP, which is over half of the world's GDP, is highly or moderately dependent on nature and its services. So we're kind of trying to showcase this sort of case for action for different actors who may not realize that they do have a case for action for the ocean. We have seen recently corporates starting to act on opportunities to change this gear and starting to kind of react to what we are seeing on the ocean side. But the reality is that these efforts are very fragmented and far from the scale and speed that's needed to address the urgency of the issue. So, for example, we frequently use the term ocean economy. Now, rather than the blue economy, we use it more specifically because when we look at the overarching kind of sphere of the ocean economy, unfortunately, most of it is still taking place in this brown economy. And the goal would be to transition towards this blue economy as we've outlined in this session. And so we've identified 3 big challenges to undertake. And that note that they all require changes in how the private sector operates, invests, and innovates. But at the same time, they all require the collaboration of government, of civil society, and of technology and financial institutions to make that happen at scale. One is advancing national economic development through sustainable ocean practices. So thinking about how do you balance the need for food, the need for infrastructure with the need to conserve and restore ocean health. And we are working with governments and with corporate players together to sort of support this cohesion. The second is accelerating conservation and restoration of nature in and around the ocean, where we are engaging with both policy and investor dialogues on how corporates can better and higher quality invest at scale in conserving and restoring the ocean, what type of vehicles that takes place through, and so on and so forth. And then the third is addressing marine pollution across supply chains, which is looking at different technologies and different business models that target marine pollution broadly beyond plastics. So all of these we've identified as required for our missions. So our challenges remain quite big, but thankfully we're not alone in approaching them. The point of the World Economic Forum undertaking this challenge is kind of our unique position in being able to convene leaders and high-level decision makers from around industries and sectors, and also our specific teams, now kind of several years of experience engaging corporates in the ocean economy. We are kind of taking this threefold approach where we are supporting industries to identify concrete actions that they can take that affect their operations, that might change their investments, to identify them, to test and pilot these practices. But also on the broader level, connecting these to the different enabling environment that they need to scale and not be small and anecdotal, and also to kind of be engaged in a broader conversation about nature. And then finally, through this, we are pushing the sort of agenda that the blue economy is competitive and it's here. And it's something that we should be shaping our economy and our systems towards. Sorry, that's my slide. So who do we work with in doing this and what does this look like? Because aware that's a broad overview. We work with 4 priority sectors that have been identified as highly ocean dependent and are quite obvious. Just ports and shipping. Ports are critical economic hubs. They enable around 80% of global trade, but they're also very environmentally exposed and also socially exposed and exposing. So we have a program where we engage existing and new port developments to embed sort of nature positive and people positive strategies and how ports are planned, upgraded, and operated. This is including outlining recommendations and guidelines on the sort of series of actions that they can take and how they can address nature-based and people-based concerns, and kind of trying to showcase and quantify the gains that they might get to by doing this. We kind of have this number from our, if you're interested, nature positive report series of different sectors. And off there we have from the ocean team, the ports and shipping report, where we identify $54 billion in cost and savings for ports if nature inclusive design is taken into action into the current investments that are flowing in. So it's really kind of trying to show there is money coming in. The economy is expanding. Yes, we need infrastructure and we need food and we need jobs. But how can we do this in a way that can be a driver of resilience rather than risk? Similar with energy, looking at the kind of massive energy expansion, especially in offshore wind, that we're anticipating globally in meeting the renewable energy targets. It is very important that we deploy this massive infrastructure development responsibly and not in a way that continues to contribute to the existing pressures that the ocean is facing. The Blue Foods work, a great example is our work in the Blue Food Innovation Hub in Ghana, which connects farmers, innovators, government, and financiers to work on value chain bottlenecks, focusing on scaling sustainable production, reducing seafood loss and waste, improving investment readiness, and kind of working through these through improved technologies and processes, as well as monitoring. And this work has been also recognized by the government as a priority in driving food and job security and supply resilience. And so it's a good example of a public-private partnership driving change in the sector. And finally, coastal tourism, also very obviously exposed to ocean impacts, is one that we are working on developing a sort of partner pipeline in. And so currently working on kind of outlining the different actors that we can engage in boosting this program. All that being said, across these sectors, something seems to repeat. That is the sense that we need both technologies and investment pathways and pipelines and proof of concepts, and a lot of dialogue and enabling policy environment to make these sector transformations happen. And oftentimes, a policy dialogue progressing also results in higher business appetite to take action. So we work also on these enabling conditions of innovation and policy most explicitly, though we also work with a bunch of financiers where we get them together in a room with big corporate finance and development banks and regional institutions and talk about how can we kind of de-risk and strategize about who is the best actor to come in at what stage of a project to make it work and to make it work right. But on the innovation side, 1000 OS is a great example because also many ocean solutions do already exist, either through technology or nature-based. The main challenge is scaling and financing them. So 1000 OS connects incubators, accelerators, investors, and corporates. Currently, it has achieved half of its decade mission of funding 1,000 ocean startups with 550, and with an investor coalition of assets under management of 2.5 billion. So really the rule is to move solutions from pilots to deployment by aligning with innovators, then with sector demand and capital. And so the work we do in the sector transitions and getting companies to identify and align on priorities feeds very directly into the uptake of the work that we're doing with 1000 OS. And at the same time, scaling solutions also depends on the rules and incentives that actors operate under. So this is where Friends of Ocean Action comes in, where different leaders from government, science, and academia and business who work at the policy and governance level help us kind of fast track solutions and progress for ocean health. Great progresses recently that FOA members have been involved in has been the recent success on the fisheries subsidies agreement, which has been a huge step towards no longer incentivizing illegal and unregulated fishing, as well as the High Seas Treaty, which creates a legal foundation to protect biodiversity beyond national waters and manage cumulative impacts. This matters, for example, for business because it provides greater clarity and predictability around ocean use, conservation, and long-term risk. One of the other things we're doing with marine sectors is to help them pilot marine metrics to improve ocean impacts reporting, which is currently also very weak across companies. So surely these efforts are very much in support of one another, and every partner and collaborator we work with has a very big role, and not to be cliche, moving the needle further. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Defne, for that wonderful presentation. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it is very good to learn about the World Economic Forum's the Ocean Action Agenda, because I mean, we for sure know that it's business, really more about business up there. But yeah, thank you for the wonderful presentation. If you have questions, I mean, if you want to also connect with Defne, I'm sure at the end, I mean, you've seen the flyers and things, the communiques we put out there. At least their LinkedIns are there. You can connect with them. If you have, of course, very important questions or concerns, especially with Defne, the Early Careers program, the World Economic Forum is an amazing program, and that is could be an entry point, just like for her. And now she's moved to being a partnerships, a specialist there, right? So moving from the early careers program up the ladder. And of course, very soon, she's also going to go higher and higher. And so it's amazing to see. And I think if you don't know yet, then you should look out for that, the early careers program. Thank you again, Defne, and we'll probably have some questions for you at the end, maybe. But yeah, we can move on to Jonathan and Siggy from the Aurora team. Yes, please take over.
Okay, sorry. That came as a surprise. I thought actually I am the last speaker. So good afternoon and good evening, Gruber. I'm a retired European Commission official, and as I wrote in the chat, I'm actually as well an ECOP, and I'm very proud of that because I'm an end of career. And I still work as a volunteer and continue to work with young people. And today I really wanted, but first of all, I wanted to thank the previous speakers who provided fantastic overview of the blue economy. And just a little digression to add to that. If we were to compare actually the blue economy, and whether we call it blue economy or sustainable economy or regenerative blue economy, I think there are so many different concepts. But if we were to compare, it would actually be the 7th largest in the world. And the ocean is an economy, and here I add to what Defne has already said, it operates in the planet's vastest ecosystem. And it holds 97% of all our waters, and it sustains 80% of all forms of life. So generally speaking, this blue regenerative economy has also undergone a lot of transformations. We have seen that. But it holds as well a wealth of fantastic new jobs, both in the traditional sectors and in the new niches, in the new sectors. We didn't talk a lot about the transformative power that artificial intelligence, robotic, new technologies actually will have. But I think for young people, for you young ocean professionals, this opens a really enormous wide opportunity for new job profiles. And yet, I think the training programs are not yet really in line and synchronized to prepare you for such different professional opportunities. So what we are, Jonathan and myself, would just like to hop now to one of the approaches that I myself have launched many years ago in actually 2013, and I continue to work on a way of empowering young professionals, but not only young professionals, because we have launched what we call the intergenerational regeneration and the intergenerational approach, which means really knowledge sharing. It's the diversity aspect between the generations, which is so important because everyone has something to contribute. So that's why we are here. And next slide, please. I wanted to talk very briefly about the All-Atlantic Ocean Research and Innovation Alliance, within which we have launched this Blue Intergenerational Program. And it is a blend between top-down, which governments have decided actually to come together and to see how can we work for a sustainable and prosperous Atlantic for the coastal communities. And it is as well with a huge bottom-up, really, through many projects, which make it happen. So Ghana, and I congratulate Ghana, is the last country that has joined the All-Atlantic Ocean Research and Innovation Alliance. And they're also part of course of the All Atlantic Blue Intergenerational Program. Next slide, please. I'm not going into details because I know the time now is very precious. But as you can see, we have called it a beacon of science diplomacy because it unites the governments. There are joint priorities defined. Money is following it. It's very often through EU-funded projects or through national funded, which are connected. Not always it is new money, but it is earmarked money. And the Alliance fosters really a large and inclusive communities. And what matters is what are really the solutions which can be provided for the communities living along and across the Atlantic Ocean. Next slide, please. So for that reason, we have very recently in September launched the All Atlantic Blue Intergenerational Program to really connect the ocean professionals across generations and across geographies. Whether a country officially has joined the alliance or not, the bottom-up aspect is equally important. So that's why we call it geographies and we call it inclusive, because it is about strengthening the Atlantic cooperation and support early career ocean professionals and engage with the coastal communities and also look into new countries like the Caribbean and the small island states. So what are the key activities? We organize different summer schools. We connect to summer schools which are ongoing and organized by one of the partner countries. We organize ad hoc intergenerational dialogues, normally back-to-back to the annual fora, which are really organized. The last one was in Brussels. The next one will be in April in Brazil. We try as well to promote what we call the floating universities. So when research vessels go up and down the Atlantic from one pole to another, we try to promote as well, for example, through POGO and many other partners, to see, is there an opportunity for a young person to come on board, to learn, to be part of such a voyage, and to have hands-on training. We also organize, and this is where I will hand over to Jonathan, a searchable database of capacity building initiatives, because we have realized while there are many networks now promoting such initiatives, there is yet, I think, a huge really gap. Where can people, young people, apply for funding, for summer schools, for floating universities, for intergenerational dialogues, for participating simply in big events? And that is another really issue that we are fully promoting, that all events should have ECOPs. And I was part of the organizing committee of the science event in UNOC, and we managed to have ECOPs on all the panels. So I was very proud of that. Jonathan, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Zee. And also from my side, thank you to the previous speakers for giving such a great introduction to the blue economy. Yeah, as Ziggy mentioned, the Blue Intergenerational Program is accompanied by a Blue Intergenerational Platform, and I will share with you the link in the chat shortly after our presentation so you can take a look at it. And on the platform, you can find out about the previous activities of the Blue Intergenerational Program, such as the previous intergenerational dialogues, but also about the future activities. And as Ziggy mentioned as well, you will find a searchable database for all the intergenerational and ECOP activities around the Atlantic, where you can select or filter on different disciplines. For example, if you want to go to a floating university and want to spend some time on sea, you can choose that one. If you want to stay on land, there are also many opportunities. And I will hand over to Sigi again to tell you a little bit about the most recent activity, the intergenerational dialogue in Brussels.
Thank you. Next slide. Yes. So that's what it looks like. So we managed actually through sponsorship and through many of the EU-funded projects to bring together 41 ECOPs and 15 coaches and ECOP mentors with 30 nationalities and for almost a week in Brussels. And what we organized is the intergenerational dialogues, where we challenge a group of young people. They have coaches, but they need to provide themselves really the solutions to the challenges. So it's like a mini hackathon, but it only takes place one day. And then in the evening of the same day, they were invited by a member of the European Parliament and needed to pitch their results, which was a great success. And equally important was the pitching of the results on the occasion of the All Atlantic Forum in front of more than 400, I think it was more than 600 participants, and also with online participation. So next slide, please. That's what it looked like. So the results, the recommendations, which are more policy relevant recommendations, are summarized here. But you can also, on the website of the All Atlantic Ocean Research and Innovation Alliance, there is a whole section dedicated to the ECOPs, where you can read through all the policy briefs. And we were also very happy to have ECOPs from Ghana participating very actively in the delivery of these 5 policy briefs. Now, those policy briefs are the recommendations which have been shared with the members of the European Parliament and with the high-level board member of the area. However, as you see really from the content, they are not only geared towards the policymakers, but also towards coastal communities, schools, civil society, industry. So it's a wide, really, spectrum which is incorporated and embedded in the delivery of these different results. I'm not going again into the nitty-gritty of it, but what is important is that what we do now, we are going to take these recommendations forward, because we take them very seriously, what the young people have actually delivered and what they propose. So in order to continue to engage with them, we are now organizing for the next session that we organize on the occasion of the Atlantic Forum in Salvador in Brazil in April. We're organizing a hackathon, which was actually as well one of the deliverables, as you can see from the slide. And for that, we are still defining the hackathon. If any one of you would like and is interested and would like to apply to be part of this hackathon, Jonathan will also put all the different links that you now need to study, look at on the in the chat, so that if you want to be part of it, please come forward. And what I also would like to invite Defne as well, that we can have maybe a chat and how to cooperate in future as well with all the activities that you do, and not only that it's not only the World Economic Forum, but for example, the different results, they could also be well promoted through our network. And I would be very happy to do that together with Jonathan and the colleagues. Next slide, please.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to talk to you a little bit about one of the areas of action of AORIA where one of the policy briefs is actually going to be implemented. So AORIA also has set a priority on the topic of coastal resilience, which I think is pretty interesting for most of you. And within that focus, the AORIA team has set up a network of living labs of pilot science around the Atlantic to get together, share their solutions, discuss different topics which are connected to coastal resilience, but also come together to maybe apply for joint projects or try to find synergies and bring them into action. And the All-Atlantic Network of Coastal Resilience Beacon Sites, which we call it, is also accompanied by a digital component. So if you scan the QR code, you can you see a briefing which will lead you a little bit through the network and also through the Coastal Resilience Hub, which is connected to that. And coming back to the intergenerational policy briefs, one of the components, for example, was actually about expanding this hub. And we are looking forward through the hackathon to implement that and see these recommendations immediately come to life. As Siggy said, I will also put the links in the chat again so you can access them there. And last but not least, from my side, I just wish you a very joyful holiday season, and I leave it to Siggy to wrap the presentation up.
Thank you. And as Jonathan also said, if you have any experiences or case studies about what the beacon sites are promoting. So, of course, first you need to go on the website and see what it is all about. But we would also like really to invite you to nurture the richness of existing national, local initiatives so that we can populate the beacon network as well, which is also connected, of course, with the ECOPs. So from my side as well, thank you very much, Goddey, and all the speakers and participants for inviting me, for listening to me and Jonathan. And we would like to stay in touch because there is so much we can do together. And with that, I wish you not only a fabulous break now, but also a prosperous and healthy 2016, and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to stay in touch. We'll exchange emails. Yeah. And
thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much, Siggy and Jonathan. Thank you, Defne, and then also Dr. Alhassan. The area would be engaging a lot with the area, and for other speakers as well. I ask, of course, that if you have any projects, any programs that you think that the youth, the young professionals in the blue economy space can benefit from. You see, the ECOP program is for early career ocean professionals. It's been there like a mother, organization for the youth in the blue economy and the ocean space. Now, Blue Economy Connect is also here and very active, connecting the blue economy enthusiasts and youth from especially Africa. So if you have any projects or programs that we can benefit from, you can always connect with us. You can always share it with us. You can always engage us, and would be very happy as youth, to engage and to, of course, benefit and support all these programs and projects. So I think definitely just send something in the chat that the tangible opportunity in ocean innovation, if of interest, is to share with the network. The 1,000 is hiring an intern together with Ocean Hub Africa, based in Cape Town. You can find most of the recent posts on LinkedIn. Yes, so please follow, check more about the All Atlantic Intergenerational Hackathon. If you have any ideas that could transform, could bring some change, please, apply, and then you could get the opportunity to join us in Brazil, and it would be very amazing. So thanks to everyone again. All the speakers, like I said, their LinkedIns are there. But if you have any special concerns or projects, you can also talk to me and I'll connect you directly with any of them. So that brings us to the end of because the last speaker, like I mentioned earlier, the blue economy expert from the AU, he is currently engaged in Ghana, also supporting the blue economy strategy for Ghana. So he's pretty busy, but he actually wants, because he has a lot to share about blue carbon projects that they have designed and gotten over 1 million euros, which is going to take off. And they actually want to share it with the youth, and they want the youth to bring innovations. They have the Blue Economy Strategy, the AU Blue Economy Strategy. They are currently helping. He is specifically helping Gambia and Ghana. So he really wants to involve us and the youth in most of the projects. And I'll be very happy to bring him back on a special webinar to talk about into details, what is going on. And with the All Atlantic Ocean, the area project will be connected and be doing more. So also join us in next sessions, next other webinars where we would update on the work going, and then you can also get to share your work. Thanks to everyone again. This is the ECOP program and Blue Economy Connect. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone, so much. This was very inspiring, and I love all the resources that you shared for all the ECOPs. I'm super excited to look more into that and connect with you all. Thank you.
Yeah, and lastly, this is recorded, so it's going to be available later on the website and on YouTube. So everyone can also get to people. You can watch it later and get get to enjoy it later. You can share it with your network. We'll make sure we share it with all the ECOPs. So of course, it might be a few people watching, but this is recorded and will be on YouTube, and many people will watch it later. So that is something to take note of. Thank you all, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Same. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.